Ever since we were little fishes in the ocean, we looked up to the surface and thought, we will reach that surface. And as we evolved, we did. We sprouted these little lizard legs, crawled out onto the surface, looked up to the sky, and thought, one day we will reach the sky. When we got to the sky, what did we do as a species? Looked up even farther and thought, let's reach the moon. And unlike most cryptocurrencies, we did that shit. So, what happens when another species starts to think, I want to reach the sky? What happens when they do? Today I have a special story for you. Today we want to talk about Sky Karen. Now, what you saw there wasn't a nicest recruitment video, nor was it Bill Gates' private jet. That is Sky Karen. I don't know her actual name. We don't need to. We're going to refer to her as Sky Karen. Okay, she was trying to open the door to the plane as it was flying, which I don't need to get into explaining that. If I do need to explain why that's a bad idea, I will lose all faith in humanity and have a horrible sleep tonight. So.
We were on a flight leaving Dallas-Fort Worth that was supposed to board at 8. We didn't board till 12 a.m. It was about a 2-hour flight, and around like 1:30, all of a sudden they start turning the lights on, and we see flight attendants running up and down the aisles frantically, kind of like, you know, whispering to each other, like talking on the phone with somebody, just frantic, and everyone's kind of like, okay, like, now we're alert, what's going on? So the flight attendants weren't saying anything, they just kept running to first class, kind of dealing things, grabbing bags from the overhead, like, they randomly, like, locked all the bathrooms. It was just kind of like chaos, and no one really knew what was going on. So then the pilot goes over the intercom and he makes an announcement saying, we ask that you guys please stay in your seats for the remainder of the flight unless it's an extreme emergency. We understand there's a bad situation in the plane right now and we're working on fixing it. And then everyone's kind of panicking more because they're like, what do you mean bad situation? Like, just poor wording on the pilot's part, because then everyone's kind of like, what the hell's going on? You know, worst case scenario in their head. So then we start to gradually hear more and more screaming, and we're like, wait a minute, someone's screaming. Like, we couldn't hear it before because the plane's just kind of loud, like all the noises it makes, so like you couldn't really hear the screaming. And we're like, wait a minute, somebody's screaming up there, like what the hell's going on? So we pretty much didn't know anything until we were about to land, and the flight attendant sat down near us, and someone asked her, like, hey, can you please tell us what's going on? Everyone's kind of scared, please, like, we just need some explanation. So then she started explaining that there was a passenger in the first class section that they believed had autism or schizophrenia, and she just like had an outburst and like had the urge to like get off the plane, and she was like, I need to get off this plane now, but like she was just like screaming, frantic. She went up to like the exits and she was banging on them saying like, you need to let me off this plane, you need to let me off this plane, and like obviously they can't let her off the plane, so they were like, man, like we need you to calm down. She wouldn't calm down, and I guess it took all 5 flight attendants to like subdue her and like literally take her down. So yeah, they pretty much took her down, put her in the seat and duct tape her, which just did not really sit right with me, but they did what they had to do, I guess. They couldn't make an emergency stop because our flight was already so delayed that if we made the stop, then we'd have to all get off and the flight would be canceled because they just didn't have enough time. So they pretty much subdued her until we could get to our airport, because they were like, there's not much we can do. We just need to keep her like from not, because she was biting and spitting and attacking people, so they were like, we need to just have her calm down, relax, and like that's why they had the duct tape over her mouth and the duct tape on her, because they didn't want her biting people, they didn't want her attacking people. She was attacking the flight attendants pretty much. So yeah, that's why she was subdued. I get they did what they had to do. I just feel like they should have a better way of going about it, because this is definitely not the first time it happened. So pretty much at the end of the day, she had some type of problem, and she caused her to have like some kind of mental breakdown. And I just feel like it was handled poorly. Like, they should definitely have a better system than what they had.
So there you go. Karen went Super Saiyan, took on 5 flight attendants, and they had to tie her down to the chair. It didn't sit right with the girl beside her, but you know what wouldn't sit right with me is somebody depressurizing a whole like airplane cabin while I'm in it. And I don't understand what she's talking about, a better system. The only thing I could think of that would be better than that is some sort of like trap door or ejector seat to just launch people into the abyss that are threatening every life on the plane. I do not care if there's mental illness involved or whatever. If you do something like that, expect restraints. It's not going to be a peace and love situation. No, if you're putting people's lives in danger, chances are they're going to go through some crazy lengths to, subdue you. But there is some mental illness to that one. not to this next one. Yeah, this isn't the first time that this has had to happen, but this time it was everybody on board who did it. There was a drunk dude who's just harassing people on a plane, and everybody around just tied him down. That's the best way to go. If you're on a plane, remember altitude drunkenness. If you get too high up there, it gets a lot easier for you to get drunk for some reason. I'm not going to get into the science. So, if you can't handle your liquor, A, don't drink, B, definitely don't drink on a plane.
They dealt with a disruptive passenger on one Iceland air flight yesterday. All they needed was some heavy-duty tape and plastic ties. Iceland Air says on a flight from Reykjavik to New York, a disruptive male passenger was hitting, screaming, and spitting at other passengers while yelling profanities. But the airline said the unruly and threatening passenger was restrained by others on board.
Man, good teamwork always warms my heart. You really got to be doing something wrong if it takes everybody around you to just look at each other and be like, there's nothing else we can do. We got to tie this person down. And if you get to that length, chances are it's pretty deserved. I don't know what to say about this. I just thought it was kind of funny and thought I should share it with you. I want to start making more videos again. I've been in a little bit of a slump emotionally, but you know, I'm coming out of it. It's happening. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. Goodbye. See you next time.